A couple of people out there have asked me to review the new movie Metalocalypse Army of the Doomstar, and I'm here to tell you that your wish has been granted. Death metal and movies and storytelling with gratuitous, over-the-top violence are some of my favorite things in life, and this movie has plenty of all of those wrapped together. I actually loved the show Metalocalypse when it first came out, like pretty much everyone else did, but I think I only watched the first 2 seasons, and since then haven't kept up with it. So I was curious if I would even know what the hell was even happening in this movie before I went into it, but thankfully I didn't seem to miss too much. This movie was made as a finale to the Metalocalypse series, and aims to give the fans of the show a satisfying conclusion that they've been waiting years for. But is it any good? Well, to quote an old black metal musician who's never got his old truck to work, let's find out. Headbang the like button, stage dive onto the subscribe button, and windmill the video to your friends. And if you're a fan of this channel, consider becoming a member. Memberships start at just 99 cents a month, and each one really helps me towards starting the first metal festival on the moon. And with that said, let's talk about Metalocalypse Army of the Doomstar. After the events of the last Dethklok special, which I didn't watch, oops, Dethklok announced a world tour and a new album. But singer Nathan Explosion is suffering PTSD from, hang on, let me check this on Wikipedia, rescuing guitarist Toki Wartooth, defeating the metal-masked assassin, and from someone named Magnus Hammersmith committing suicide. Apparently all of that happened in the Dethklok special, the Doomstar Requiem. I should have probably watched that. Nathan collapses on stage during their first show, thus canceling the announced world tour and new album. Nathan hits rock bottom and ends up telling everyone in his life, from the band to the fans to everyone, to go fuck themselves and leave him alone. Which is bad timing, because during this, he's told that he must fulfill the prophecy of writing the Song of Salvation in order to save the whole world from being slaughtered in an apocalyptic bloodbath full of weird, creepy shit. I was wondering if this would feel like an actual film or just like a long episode of the Dethklok show, and I think it does actually land much more in feeling like an actual film. While it's filled with ridiculous humor and bizarrely batshit over-the-top metal madness, I was surprised how much of an actual story this did have to it. It's completely absurd, of course, but it does have a solid 3-act story structure, and several of the characters go through actual arcs in it. Imagine that, an actual story with character development. Something severely lacking in most movies these days. Take note, Marvel, maybe you could learn something from Dethklok. The film has these ridiculous characters going through these emotional journeys and learning life lessons, but it's always aware of the batshit crazy world that it's taking place in. There are moments where things are taken a bit more seriously in tone, but it is still Metalocalypse, so during those moments, people may be exploding, demons are killing shit, the Dethklok guys are playing hard into their stereotypes. It doesn't turn into a lifetime drama, is what I'm saying. For instance, one moment guitarist Squiscar is knocked unconscious and starts going into shock. In order to calm him down and save his life, the band put his guitar in his hands with a tuner on the end of it, so he can tune his strings to calm back down to his normal self, which he then uses to communicate a message to the band by tuning to the right notes. That was pretty brilliant. If you're a fan of dark and twisted adult cartoon shows with a whole shitload of blood, then this has got you covered. This is like taking pretty much every metal album cover ever and putting it into a 1.5-hour long movie. It's full of awesome designs, crazy metal shit happening. This movie serves as Dethklok's Return of the King in many ways, actually. It features most of the main characters throughout the series, many of them going through big character arcs, and it all culminates into an epic finale that's a giant fucking battle where a lot of people die. This is way more over the top than I was expecting it to be. This was some crazy shit. Just picture an army of cartoon metalheads killing people in all kinds of different brutal ways. If Metalocalypse knows that it's ending, this is a pretty epic way to go out. The humor in the movie mostly works. Some parts I was definitely laughing harder than others. I never found myself falling on the floor with laughter, but at the same time, I stayed pretty entertained throughout the whole thing and had a few good laughs. It's only about an hour and a half long, and anytime it may start to feel like it's overstaying its welcome, it quickly moves into another fucking crazy chaotic scene. The movie manages to highlight human elements of being in a huge band in its own very fucked up way. Through all of the ridiculous plot elements, cartoon violence, and heavy metal insanity happening on the screen, it does illustrate in its own way the significance of each member of the band, while also making fun of what complete idiots they all are. Army of the Doomstar does a pretty impressive job of closing out a lot of the plot threads that were started in the very first episodes, and it was pretty cool to get to see the conclusion conclusion of the Metalocalypse story after having first watched it so many years ago. Around the time when I was first getting into metal, actually, was when it came out. If you aren't familiar with Dethklok and you watch this movie for some reason, you're probably gonna have no fucking idea what's going on, and will probably think you took some bad acid. But for longtime fans of the show, and even for casual Dethklok fans like myself, who remember the main highlights from the early episodes but haven't kept up with it in years, I think you'll find this a pretty satisfying finale. It's not perfect, but it does feel like a giant ode to the fans over the years. The ending especially being basically a giant thank you to everyone for supporting the show over the years, which I greatly appreciate and respect. After watching endless, uninspired grovel from Hollywood lately, it's quite nice to watch something that was clearly unapologetically made to satisfy its fan base. If you were a fan of the show when it first came out, I think you'll appreciate getting to see this big, epic, gory, insane, twisted, epic metal as fuck finale. And anyone who's fully kept up with the story all the way through, I'm sure will love it. So I would recommend checking out Metalocalypse Army of the Doomstar. If you also have fond memories of singing the Duncan Hills coffee song throughout your high school. But those are just my thoughts. What's your opinion on Metalocalypse Army of the Doomstar? Do you plan on seeing it? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. For more from me, check out my band Dark Insanity on Instagram and here on the channel. We've got our first recordings coming up very soon, and we're playing our next show December 8th at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Hollywood, and we'll be playing the Tulminator Festival next year in Slovenia. If you liked the video, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even becoming a member if you like. Shout out to my Rockstar members for helping support the channel. You guys are awesome. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you all in the next video.